Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Davidium with another video. This time we're going to be taking a look at Freehold boosting. Now, back in 8.3, boosting and Freehold was the fastest way to power level your characters from level 110 to 120. And surprise, surprise, once again, it is the fastest way to level your character from 10 all the way up to 50. So whether you're looking fresh allied race, or you're looking to get those last few levels that take extra long, Freehold boost, and once again is the fastest way to level. I know I made a video about not even a week ago about the open world farm over in Blackrock Stronghold, but after doing some tests in Freehold, this is just a lot better. I was averaging about one level every 4 minutes, and then later on in the high 40s, you're looking at about one run for every level, which is a lot better than the Blackrock Stronghold or any other open world farm, as it can take around 15, 20, 25 minutes for a level. So the trick with Freehold is getting the runs fast enough where you're not spending a ton of time in here. Without corruption, everyone got nerfed down a ton, so these mobs are a lot harder. And as you can see, I'm in tank spec right now. Before, I used to be able to go Havoc spec and pull the entire place in 3 pulls, but now I have to break it up into 5 pulls just to be able to get it done. So not only are you missing a lot of corruption, you're missing a lot of verse, mobs are hitting harder, they're staying alive a lot longer. So you can only really do this farm with a few classes, and only if you're extremely geared. If you're not geared or you're not a good class for this, you can't do these Freehold power levels anymore. And it is unfortunate because a lot of classes were able to do it before pre-patch, but now I've only been able to see a few classes. The main ones being Prop Pally. I've seen Rogues do it. I've heard Shadow Priests are able to do it as well, Vengeance Demon Hunters, and I'm sure there's a couple other classes that can do it as well. But these are just the ones that I've heard or seen of doing it. So that being said, even as Vengeance, getting my time under 10 minutes wasn't easy. It took me a lot of trial and error, a lot of runs where I just went in and I would die and I could not figure out how to actually make it work. So I just kept trying new things, new Azurites, new essences, trinkets, just different styles. And I finally found a method that worked for me where I could get my runs around anywhere between 8 to 9 minutes, in that range there. I think this run here took 9.5 minutes. It took a little bit longer, but normally I'm around that 9-minute mark, and it's a lot more consistent now. I'm not dying anymore, and overall it's just a lot smoother. So when I was doing my runs, I would the first area up until this zone where I'm at right now, you keep getting these debuffs that reduce your heal and recede by 25% or 20%, and they'd stack, which was probably the hardest challenge in this dungeon to overcome and figure out how to work around it, because without the leech, you just fall over. And I constantly died. My runs would be, there was like a 25% chance I'd be able to do them right without dying, but most of the time I just kept falling over and dying nonstop. So finally, I found this method of just backpedaling the entire dungeon. So I don't know if it's the parry or if it's also the dodge on top of that. As you can see, I'm using the Mechagon trinket that increases my dodge by 400. I don't know if you have to be facing the mobs for that to really trigger, but ever since I started backpedaling, I haven't had many health issues at all. My health has been staying really high up for the most part. I rarely proc my second chance. Obviously, I did in this run, but most runs, it won't even proc. So my strategy in the first area, you still want to do it in 2 pulls because of all the bone saws. The bone saws are the ones that give you the heal and debuff, and it stacks up 4 times. So the more bone saws there are, the harder it is, because more uptime you'll have on that buff. But after that, you can start to pull a little bit more bigger. This area here with the harpooners gets annoying as well because they're constantly grabbing you, and you got to constantly look out for stuns, because if you get stunned, it can be a big mess. But with all my dodge and parry, I found that backpedaling throughout the entire instance made it a whole lot smoother, a lot cleaner. I was doing more damage, and it was this trick that I found for Vengeance Demon Hunter, at least. I don't know about other classes, what works for them. But for Vengeance Demon Hunter, I found backpedaling made it extremely easy. Whereas before, I was just pulling like you normally would, grab a whole bunch, turn around, kill, stand still, whatever it was. But when I started backpedaling, it was night and day how much easier it was. So now, because of that, I'm able to get the runs around 9 minutes or so, and you're just constantly chain pulling. You're not waiting to kill all the mobs. You're just keep backpedaling throughout the entire dungeon. Just keep moving, keep working your way all the way up until the end. Now, the only other change, minus my current gear and whatnot, was for Harlan, I would swap to Havoc spec just because he has a lot of health. It's a boss, and it can take quite a while to kill him as a tank since you're not doing that much damage. So for the final boss, I would kill off all the mobs, and then I would swap over to Havoc, kill the boss in under a minute, and then it would save me probably about a minute worth of time. So the trinkets I decided to use were the Mechagon trinket with the card that gives you dodge, and then I think I have a verse mastery ticket in there as well. The second one doesn't matter as much, but the main one I have is a dodge. As you can see, I have 99 stacks, and it made my runs a whole lot easier. My other trinket, I use Marika's Fang, which does a ton of damage, and it helps burning these mobs down a lot quicker. For Azurite essences, I use the Anima as my major. I was back and forth on using Vision or Anima or even one of the other essences, but overall, killing the mobs quicker worked out to be, it just worked out a lot better than trying to survive a little bit more. For miners, I use Crucible Flame, Conflict and Strife, and I also used Aegis of the Deep for the extra versatility. So for the essences, the main one I recommend is having the Anima just for the extra damage, and then having damage and trinkets as well. At least one damage and trinket will help out a lot too. And then for Havoc, I just had a single target build, and that seemed to do its own work. One other little thing that I suggest if you have one is to use a Diver's Folly. I have one Diver's Folly right on. It's a Mythic Warforged one, and it does a lot of my overall damage. I was surprised when I started using it. It doesn't seem to be as nerfed as it seemed in 8.3. It seems to be working out really well for me, and it helps kill the mobs a lot quicker. Especially if you use your Anima or your Marika's Fang or Fell Devastation. If you use any of those while the Diver's Volley is up, it can do a ton of damage. Besides that, guys, this is the route. This one here, it wasn't my quickest time, but it was one of my cleaner pulls. So I figured I'd show you guys this run. Enjoy the video. Go ahead and stop, go back, rewind, whatever part that you need to figure out a little bit more, by all means. And then also, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, something's not working for you, you can't figure it out, you need any kind of suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to help you guys out. But anyways, guys, that's it for today. Tomorrow, I will be doing a Freehold boost and stream. I'll be giving away free boosts and carries, I guess. And it is the quickest way to level. So if you do have some alts that you want leveled up, feel free to drop by tomorrow. It's twitch.tv/Davidium. I'll be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be giving away boosts all day long. Or not all day long, but we'll do it for a few hours tomorrow, and we can bring in 4 people each run, and it's still going to be a super fast way to level over questing or doing regular dungeons. But anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching the video, and have a good night. All right, bye-bye.